Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. As always, a free way to support the channel is by leaving a thumbs up, by leaving a comment, by telling me what you're having for breakfast and or dinner, depending on when you're watching this, and or by subscribing if you have not already done so. It does indeed help with the algorithm. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. Of course, there's a lot that we have to cover because there's never a dull day in crypto. Yay! At the moment, for those of you, at least at the time of me making this video, for those of you who are not aware, the cryptocurrency market is in a nice shade of green. And it's like a dark green if you kind of want to put it into that context. Bitcoin is current, I think, but like a smidge, like an actual smidge away from 55,000 US dollars, which is absolutely wonderful because we had talk, was it 5 days ago? People like, oh, Bitcoin's going back down to $100 because of all the nonsense that was going on. However, right now, depending on where you look, there are a lot of different price estimates of exactly how high that we have to go. And the main one that I kept on seeing over and over was $58,000. And I think even more so, $60,000. There was a report from JP Chase who stated that if Bitcoin goes above $60,000, then like we start hitting like crazy new mega fantastical numbers and stuff like that. But apparently we have to pass by a small number of whatever. You get the point. The cryptocurrency market's going up. A lot of coins, their prices in Satoshis are actually in red as well, which means that a lot of people are probably selling off to buy back their Bitcoin that they sold off previously before, which is usually, we've seen through history, a mistake. Anyway, on top of that as well, a very popular article floating around right now. People are trying to figure out exactly how high Bitcoin's going to go, where Bitcoin's going to go, and at which time of the year, which point, and stuff like that. The stock to flow guy, Plan Bitcoin, is becoming more popular every single day based on current models. And I'll even read like a smidge of it because he explains as to why they believe that this number is going to happen. That by August of this year, Bitcoin should be around $115,000. I think 100K is the actual like big number that we have to kind of pass by. It's kind of the same exact thing for those of you who were not here before. When you have Bitcoin at $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, no one really cares. But when it hits 10,000, that's a very huge psychological number. Same exact thing, I guess, when we even pass by $20,000. But I think 100K is kind of like the end all. Isn't the actual word that I'm looking for, but you kind of get what I'm saying, to the point where people are, and it's a shame as well, because now, this is my opinion, there are people who should have gotten into the market very long ago, and I'm pretty sure that there are even people looking at the market right now who still maybe are intimidated in some sort of way, but these people will enter the market when it hits 100,000, and then years later they're going to go, oh gosh, I wish I had purchased when it was at 5,000 or 3,000, because, you know, we saw all those numbers last year. So it says, at the time of writing, the stock-to-flow model is suggesting that Bitcoin could, no one knows for certain, surge to as high as $115,000 this coming August. Dan Moorhead, the chief executive of crypto investment firm Pantera Capital, explained by saying, and I quote, "The model suggests Bitcoin could hit $115,212. That's very accurate. In August of this year, based on the relative stock-to-flow ratios of the previous two halvings. One potential framework for analyzing the impact of halvings is to study the change in the stock-to-flow ratio across each halving. The first halving reduced the supply by 15% of the total outstanding Bitcoin. This is a huge impact on supply, and it had a huge impact on the price." Last time that we had like the actual halving, I believe, what was it, last March or April of last year, the idea was that, and I mean, it's not even an idea, it's the actual fact of the matter. It's that the current supply was going to get cut down, that's being created every single day, but the demand was still going to remain. It's only going to increase more demand and more popularity by people wanting to get more, because we know that we couldn't really have it before, and we still want it, and now there's less of it, so we kind of want. Anyway, the point is, we'll see what happens relatively soon. The stock-to-flow guy was in the news yesterday as well. We were talking about it, where he was saying, nope, well, I don't get why everyone's panicking. We're still completely on course. We should be at 50,000 right now, kind of thing. So we'll see what happens. This guy's model has been correct for a very, very long time, for a number of years. I think that it's only now people are really paying attention to it. And therefore, this is why everyone's, I'll say, skeptical in a sort of way, but I don't know how many times this guy has to be correct before everyone just kind of tumbles into the market. So that's basically all the price news. There was no altcoin price news, nothing about Cardano, nothing about Ethereum. All the prices are up, but I guess maybe it's like a timid up, if you kind of catch my drift. So the only price news was really about Bitcoin and that the market was moving up in general. So yeah, let's move on to the nonsense because we have to get into it at some actual point. Here we go. So I saw this news and I was like, cool, good for them. And then I saw it again. And then I saw another article, and then I saw something else. And then by the 13th one, I was like, okay, so I'm going to have to talk about this because I assumed it would just simply be, once again, logical, that people would understand why this happened. But no, that's not the year or the world or the universe that we're living in. Elon Musk's company, Tesla, has revealed that it sold part of their Bitcoin holdings after its billion-dollar purchase of the flagship cryptocurrency earlier in 2021. Now, keep in mind, we heard in 2021 that Tesla had actually purchased Bitcoin. There was no actual date as to when that purchase happened. I assumed that it happened last year or sometime maybe even the year before. Why? Because we had multiple companies after Tesla come forward and say, hey, we also hold Bitcoin. And many of them had announced, what did they say? Probably no one's going to get it. Hey, we purchased last November. We purchased last December. We purchased during the dip last year. They all made sure to announce in some sort of way, I guess it was kind of bragging rights, that they had purchased when the price was much, much lower. I had assumed, just me, that they had not... I didn't think that Tesla had purchased $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin at the all-time high. I assume they've been looking at it for a number of years. That's just kind of my idea. So that's just one. That's the first thing. Continuing on. In an earnings call, Tesla stated that it sold $272 million worth of Bitcoin in the first quarter of this year, with the price of Bitcoin appreciating since the acquisition, of course. The company's Bitcoin value may have grown to $2.72 billion, indicating that Tesla sold 10% of their holdings. According to the slide deck, selling Bitcoin helped them make a $101 million positive impact. So here's the idea. Let's say you're a company and someone says, hey, you should be investing in this. You go, cool, that sounds amazing. Tell me what it is. You learn about it. You decide to allocate some money to it. Let's say you have $100 million for the sake of being round. You have $100 million. You go, okay, I'm going to put $100 million into that. This product does extremely well. And I mean, like, really, it far exceeds your expectations. You end up making $1 billion from your initial $100 million purchase. What normal companies do all the time is they tend to take out their initial capital that they put into it. Why? Because you know that for a fact that you've recouped your money that you initially put into it, and you still have 90% of the actual investment. So what seems the most logical to me, whatever, they probably put in $200 million into Bitcoin. It exploded in value. They made tons of money, and they took out their initial investment just to know that they recouped it and that they're still holding an enormous amount of Bitcoin on the side. However, that's not how logic works for a lot of people. So then this happened. So you may remember it's been a year. It's been about a year and some change at this point, almost a year, give or take. It doesn't really matter. We had a lot of people who decided to jump into the cryptocurrency market as prices were rising last year. Remember when prices fell completely to the ground? Bitcoin was at $3,000 and everyone was like, oh, that's it. The market is done, completely torn apart, not realizing exactly what's happening. Bitcoin isn't something for you to trade back and forth and have fun with and go, oh, I made a buck. No, we're talking about a system that has already begun to change the fabric of not only society, but economics and also the banking system, the entire world. We have a system, once again, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, no downtime, that is accessible to 7.4 billion people on this planet. You know, it's kind of a big deal. So at this time when Bitcoin was rising rapidly in price and everyone who realized that they should have gotten in at 3,000, who made sure to talk before about how Bitcoin was garbage, Bitcoin was trash, Bitcoin was $20,000, now it's 3,000, it's clear that the bubble has popped, not understanding what they're talking about because it's so easy just for people to be like, It's clearly a bubble. As the price began to rise, we saw a lot of celebrities start to enter the cryptocurrency market. This is even before we talk about the NFT craze and Paris Hilton being like, hey, me too, I also made a digital version of myself. One of those people was a guy named Dave Portnoy. If you weren't here before, well, now you're going to learn about him. He's from something called Barstool Sports. I don't know what it is. I've never watched it. I'm not going to watch it. I'm not interested. He's basically one of these people who makes big investments. I assume he's a stock trader, and he basically shows everybody how much money he made. He's one of those people, you've seen them on YouTube before. I made $17 million last year, bro, and they kind of, you know, show off to everything that they did. There was a day where, for some reason, I'm not sure how they even coordinated this, he met up with the Winklevoss twins. Winklevoss twins went to his house. I saw like the actual video because everyone wouldn't shut up about it. Winklevoss twins are talking to him about Bitcoin, what he should do, how much he should buy, how great it was, how so and so and so. And I think he invested, I don't know if it was $50,000, $100,000, or $500,000. It was some huge amount of money that he ended up putting into the market. After that, prices began to fall. Because a lot of times, now this is my opinion, whenever really rich people get into the market, I think that they assume that because they've stepped onto the carpet, the price will continue rising forever. And that's not how it works. We are in one of the most volatile markets I have ever seen in my entire life. And it is probably going to continue for at least the next strong 3 to 5 years. We're going to see a lot of fluctuations in price as we continue moving forward. As the prices began to drop, Dave Portnoy sold, allegedly. This is what we heard on the internet. It was everywhere. He said he sold his Bitcoin. He was out of the market. It was too shaky for him. He didn't see it having a future. You know the old story. This happens all the time. So this leads us to exactly where we are right now, talking about the entire Tesla thing. And this is why I brought it up, because I said I saw it and I was like, okay, cool, whatever. But the articles kept on popping up, and people really find this fascinating. So I'm just going to give you exactly what took place. Dave Portnoy then went on to Twitter, and he added Elon Musk and said, so am I understanding this correctly? At Elon Musk buys hashtag Bitcoin, then he pumps it, it goes up, then he dumps it and makes a fortune. Listen, I own 1 Bitcoin, but hashtag Bitcoin is exactly what we thought it was. Just don't be the last one holding the bag. Indicating that Elon Musk had tons of Bitcoin, made sure to pump it, took his money out of it, and now he's leaving everyone else holding the bag, which is a very common thing that you hear within the cryptocurrency space for people who did not get into the space early enough and try to, what's the word? The word isn't demean. Try to make other people feel bad for having been in the market before. The idea is, if you told me to buy years ago, and I said, no, I don't want to buy. You told me to buy the next day. I don't want to buy. Eventually, at some point, I end up buying. I see that you have 20 and I have 1. As the price continues going up and we have these dips, I can then tell you, well, you know what? You're going to be the one holding the bag, bro. You have a lot more than me. It's jealousy. And I don't know if people can even openly say this out loud, but it's just what it is. Across the entire board, Dave Portnoy is not the only one to say something like this. If you type in bag holder or be the last one holding the bag, you're going to find billions of instances of people saying this within the cryptocurrency space. Basically, they've said it for XRP a lot of times. Well, you know, Ripple has all those coins. Just don't be the last one holding the bag. It's a way of, whatever. The entire point is he basically insinuated that Elon Musk had been pumping Bitcoin to make tons of money to pull his money out. Elon Musk then responds. He said, no, you do not. I have not sold any of my Bitcoin. Tesla sold 10% of its holdings, essentially to prove liquidity of Bitcoin as an alternative to holding cash on the balance sheet. Checkmate. The entire idea was what Tesla did. They made sure to not only recoup their original money, as companies do, because Tesla is a company before a Bitcoin company. They made sure to prove liquidity in the market. We've had a problem before, many years ago in the cryptocurrency market. If people moved their coins, prices would go down. If we found out that people had sold their coins, the prices would move down. The selling of nearly $250 million worth of Bitcoin in the past would have had a huge effect on the market, like immediately, not like a 5 days later, people going, oh my gosh, Elon Musk sold psychically or something like that. No, immediately as that sell order went in, the prices would have dropped. So what Tesla has done, because I'm pretty sure they didn't just, sell yesterday, they proved that them selling that much Bitcoin had no effect on the actual market. You know what did have an effect on the market? The other nonsense news that we were getting about the tax proposal, about the Secretary of the Money or whatever thing, about Turkey banning it, which they're also not banning it if you missed yesterday's video, and all the other nonsense. So they proved themselves correct in the entire thing. This is the most popular news of the day. I could not get away from it, no matter how hard I tried. Tesla sold $272 million worth of Bitcoin in the first quarter of 2021. Wonderful. As well, they have the right to. They are a company. They're trying to make money. And I'm pretty sure they're still going to hold on to the other portion of Bitcoin that they have. And even if they don't, the world will move on. I promise you. I'm going to tell you this right now. If at any point Tesla was like, let's sell all of our Bitcoin, you would wake up and the sun would still be outside. I'm not sure what this... Anyway, so just to show you, yeah, he said, I have not sold any of my Bitcoin, which is now people being like, Elon Musk holds Bitcoin? Did you think that it was just Tesla? The company? Do you not know who Elon Musk is? Have we not gone over the fact that every single celebrity, even the smaller ones, have at some point announced that they are into Bitcoin, that they hold Bitcoin? Did you think one of the wealthiest people on the planet had his company invest in it, but not himself? All right, so the news continues on. Elon Musk's Tesla sold, and they keep writing it this way. I don't understand why people write articles or can't write articles properly. Elon Musk's Tesla? You can't just say Tesla? Would you say like Willy Wonka's Magical Factory sold some of their Bitcoin? So here's the actual news that we were talking about. It was August. It was August of last year. Barstool Sports Dave Portnoy buys Bitcoin after Winklevoss pitched. It was very easy. They sat next to him and they were like, you should buy some. Okay. All right. Where's my checkbook? Now here's the other part. Barstool Sports founder Dave Portnoy says, I will never buy Bitcoin again. The Barstool's Sports president bought Bitcoin last summer, then panic sold at a loss when it dipped. Now he says he will never buy Bitcoin again. Can you guess what he did? Can you guess what he did? Barstool Sports president Dave Portnoy buys Bitcoin again. Oh, wow. I didn't see that one coming. I'm not sure why these people get into the market. I think it has to do with if you know the term clout, I think it just has to be like, I'm in the market. Look how much money I made. These people don't understand exactly how volatile that it is. And we're not even talking about like, normal people anymore. Like whatever. Anyway, so that's the mega news of the day. I'm pretty sure you're going to read about it 10,000 bajillion times. It's not that, crazy of news. Companies do this all the time, but I think it's meant to be a... I'm not sure if it's meant to be a shock to our market, a shock to the system, that a company who was holding Bitcoin sold their Bitcoin. You at some point, pointing to you, if you're holding Bitcoin and Bitcoin goes to $3 million, let's say we live in that world, you would probably sell your Bitcoin. So why is it unbelievable that a company would do the exact same? Anyway, that's the Tesla Barstool Sports news. And let's move on. Next up, in news that should have been everywhere news as opposed to that stupid Tesla story, JP Morgan Chase is preparing to offer an actively managed Bitcoin fund to certain clients, becoming the latest, largest, and if its CEO's well-documented distaste for Bitcoin, that's a lie, shut up, unlikeliest U.S. mega bank to embrace crypto. No, JP Morgan has known about Bitcoin since 2014, maybe even before that. Jamie Dimon, this guy right here, who's the head of JP Morgan Chase, has mentioned a bajillion times how much he hates Bitcoin. And then lo and behold, in 2018, 19, and 2020, and 2021, we start hearing about how JP Morgan is going to be dipping a toe into the Bitcoin pool. This guy never disliked Bitcoin. He was trying to figure out a way to lower its price. And the problem is it works. It works. All you have to do is have a lot of money, go on stage and say, I don't like it. And people start, selling and panicking. It's the same exact way. You know how many articles I've seen, even on Instagram? I'll scroll through Instagram sometimes, and there's stuff with like Warren Buffett talking about like how he doesn't like Bitcoin. Warren Buffett is 8,000 years old. I do not care what if I had listened to Warren Buffett in 2016 and 17 about Bitcoin, we would not be here right now. You have to understand, everyone has an ulterior motive, and I've even mentioned this to a couple of friends before. Now, this is allegedly, I don't know. I'm never going to know because I'm not that rich and powerful and I don't have access to this information. But I assume at some point, some company that even Scrooge, what's his name? Buffett is into, probably also holds Bitcoin as well. So he indirectly is also invested into Bitcoin. He's also mentioned before, like so many people are being like, we got to listen to what Warren Buffett says. Warren Buffett doesn't invest in anything that deals with technology. Find his old interviews. He says he only invests in what he knows and is usually in food or like home care products like Johnson & Johnson. So I'm supposed to listen to that guy. The same way I'm supposed to listen to Jamie Dimon. All right. The JP Morgan Bitcoin Fund could roll out as soon as this summer. Two sources familiar with the matter told CoinDesk. Institutional Bitcoin shop New York Dig will serve as JP Morgan's custody provider. A third source has said JP Morgan's Bitcoin fund will be actively managed. Multiple sources told CoinDesk. That's a notable break from the passive fare offered by crypto industry stalwarts like Pantera Capital and Galaxy Digital. Who cares if it's actively or passively managed? No one actually cares. The news is that the largest, one of the largest, I think they're the largest bank in the world, is making a Bitcoin fund just for wealthy people, which is what I told you would happen about a year ago and some change. Bitcoin is only going, the fact that you are in the market now, you don't understand how lucky you are. Like, and I don't mean that as like, we're so lucky. No, it's like, you don't get it. Bitcoin is not made for you. It's not made for me. We're not supposed to be in this market. Bitcoin is for the elites. This is what they think, and this is what they're forming. They're making, why do you think every single one of these mega banks is making a Bitcoin fund, and they're only offering it to the wealthiest people on the planet? Why do you think it was significant earlier this year, for those of you who were not here, when we had those leaks that were coming out? It was basically, there were like earnings calls and earning reports and basically emails and PDFs being sent out to the wealthiest people on the planet from these banks. And people who were receiving these things actually leaked them out to us, and they were like, this is what this bank is saying. This is why we heard JP Morgan Chase once again talking about that Bitcoin could hit $360,000 this year. That information wasn't made for us. It was made for the richest people on the planet. Why? Because they're trying to accumulate all the Bitcoin before it's ever actually actively offered to you. You are going to have a point, probably within the next, I give it 3 to 5 years. Bitcoin has to pass by $500,000. Bitcoin has to be unobtainable for you. I mean, completely unobtainable for you. You're going to start walking into a bank, and that's when they're going to say, hey, have you invested in Bitcoin yet? We have a new Bitcoin fund that's for everyday normal people. And that's when they'll say, yeah, you can allocate $100 to it. There's a reason why they're telling you and will tell you in the future to allocate $100 into Bitcoin in the year 2027, as opposed to right now. You are not supposed to hold any Bitcoin. I need to make that abundantly clear before we actually end up moving on in this video. I mentioned this the other time before. The situation that we currently have right now is that if you want 1 million Satoshis, it's going to cost you, on the screen, $545. This is still, for some people, still obtainable. Not for everyone. When Bitcoin is so out of reach for the everyday normal person, and people, and listen, we are going to have articles of people making millions, hundreds of millions, billions. It is widely believed that the first trillionaires we have on this planet will be from crypto. That's when your friends, your aunt, your uncle, your grandmother are then going to be offered Bitcoin exposure when they go to a bank or some other type of fund or something like that. Why do you think this is? The point is, JP Morgan Chase is making a Bitcoin fund. It will only be for the wealthiest people on this planet. And every other bank is going to do the exact same thing until they've accumulated as much Bitcoin as they possibly can without moving the price. The price is already moving because we see that they're buying. And then when the price gets too large, that's when they'll go, yeah, we've been in Bitcoin for a while. Bitcoin is actually a pretty great investment, and everyone should have gotten into it years ago because we did. The fact that you're here right now, that you know what Bitcoin is, that your mind opened to even the idea of buying Bitcoin, you don't understand how far ahead you actually are. You are further ahead than billions of other people on this planet. You don't get it. You really don't understand. So anyway, that's the JP Morgan news. And yeah, let's move on. Also wow, like this one actually shocked me because I actually wasn't expecting it. Bitcoin's mainstream adoption is picking up, yada, yada, yada. So apparently the San Francisco Sheriff's Department has also purchased Bitcoin. The San Francisco Deputy Sheriff's Association, or SFDSA, a nonprofit organization dedicated to the support of law enforcement, families, and communities, announced over the weekend that it had added Bitcoin to its all-weather investment portfolio. This is despite the association still considering Bitcoin as a highly volatile asset. They don't care anymore. People know that it's volatile, but they want the money. What do you think? What do you think is going on? But for the most of its members who voted in favor after a tough discussion, the volatility served purpose. These people are going to be wealthy in the next couple of years. So as it stands right now, we don't even have to spend that much time on this actual article. The San Francisco, here's the actual website for it right here. San Francisco's Deputy Sheriff's Association, proudly serving the peoples since 1952, has invested in Bitcoin. It's kind of crazy. And this is only going to continue because, listen, when this news goes out, I assure you, at least, I'm going to say 5. I'll give it a good, I'll give it a whole hand. 5 other sheriff departments in America, I'm not sure where they are also going to have the discussion, and then they're also going to invest in Bitcoin. I'm telling you, this is the same exact tumbling snowball effect that we were talking about with the sports players getting into Bitcoin and being like, hey, I want my entire salary in Bitcoin. Then the entire team gets it. The price goes up 20, 30, 40, 50%. The team next door goes, I made 1.5 million. I could have made a lot more. I want my whole salary in Bitcoin, or, you know, I'm not going to play. And it tumbles out of control. And before you know it, every single sports star is being paid in Bitcoin. Every single one. And then everyone in these corporate offices. How many other companies did we have the last 2 weeks? I think it was 3 or 4 different companies who announced that they were going to be paying their CEOs or higher up employees in Bitcoin. Pay attention. Anyway, that's the San Francisco Deputy Bitcoin news. I didn't plan on saying any of those words today, but alas, here we are. Let's move on. Next up. Just a few months after payments giant PayPal launched buying and selling features for Bitcoin and other digital cryptocurrencies, user demand for digital assets on the platform has already exceeded the company's expectations multiple-fold. Speaking to Time magazine, Schulman said that demand on the crypto side has been multifold to what we initially expected. There's a lot of excitement. Basically saying that they're making a lot more money than they actually assumed that they would. A lot more people into cryptocurrencies than they had initially expected. Here's the actual Time magazine article. Oh yeah, he also talks about super apps somewhere in the article, basically talking about that he's expecting that banks will eventually, in the near future, begin to crumble because they won't be able to keep up with the speed of payments, the efficiency of digital payments, and all these other things. So eventually, there are going to be apps that people that are developing right now that are going to basically link everyone up and all this other stuff, and we'll be able to transfer money as simple as we transfer a text. And these will be these super apps that are going to supersede banks. It makes sense. I mean, you know, we should have had that stuff, you know, about 40 years ago, but it takes a long time to develop things because, you know, legislation. Anyway, that's the PayPal news. I'm sure I'm just, you know, sure that PayPal is doing quite well because, you know, they're buying up all the Bitcoin that's mined per day. But, you know, that's another discussion because no one really pays attention to that news. Anyway, that's PayPal. And let's move on. In news that should have also been a lot bigger than the Tesla news, the world's top crypto exchange, Binance, has announced that it will be listing shares, like stocks, but tokenized versions of MicroStrategy, Microsoft, and Apple on their platforms. The MicroStrategy Binance US dollar pair will be listed on the 26th. Oh, that was yesterday. The other two, also tradable in Binance's own stablecoin, will list on the 28th and 30th of this month. For those of you who are unaware, Binance has been adding stocks to their platform. They are digital representations of stocks. Binance actually holds the stocks themselves, so you're not simply just buying air. The idea is that you can buy them fractionally, which is really cool. I like the idea of this because, I think, if you have $1 and you want to invest in a stock, you can still get into the game. It's no longer a matter of you having to buy an entire stock or half a stock, or whatever the other case might actually be. So now they've added, it's Microsoft, Apple, why can't I read? Coinbase, Tesla was one of the other ones that they added. What was the last one? I don't remember. There's a fifth company. Anyway, good for them. Wonderful. So yeah, I like the inclusion of finance in any possible way, because I've thought that for, a very long time. It always made me a little annoyed that people have to buy entire things. It's the same exact thing. Like we've done it, but it's not normally been open to everyday normal people. Like fractionalized real estate. I think that's going to change the entire world when you can go onto a website, enter into a whatever, and say, hey, I own 1/100th of that flat across the street. And every single month, as the rent is being paid, your phone vibrates and you get a payment from the rent, because it's also in digital, and that's how money is going to work in the future. Anyway, that's the Binance news. Here's another one because it's quite popular. And here's the actual website of them talking about that they're going to be doing it. MicroStrategy, Apple, and Microsoft. Fantastic. And let's move on. I only found out about this one because my friend told me. Hello, friend. This is not paid. This is not affiliated. This is nothing. My friend told me about this, and I thought it was kind of cool. There's an app called Vivid, V-I-V-I-D. Before you download anything onto your phone, please make sure this thing is actually real, and do research, your own research, as always you should be doing before you put your money into anything or downloading anything onto your personal devices. It's an online bank account, which a lot of you should also be doing as well, in case you don't know that. There are a lot of free bank accounts out there. A lot of them are completely digital. You can use them on your phone and or your computer, and you pay no banking fees, and it is quite nice. So this one right here, they actually offer, it says commission-free investments in stocks and ETFs with just one click, which I thought was kind of cool. And he was like, no, like dig further. And I kept on looking around. I think they recently just added cryptocurrencies to this as well. Now, many other places have, of course, also done that. But the really interesting part, of course, they have the normal coins, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, yada, 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 yada. You can start with as little as 1 cent. Once again, not affiliated, don't know these people, just talking about it. And I think that's absolutely excellent because, you wouldn't believe the amount of times I've told friends, here's a better one, or friends have told me they'd like to get into investing, and I've tried to tell them, hey, you can buy fractions of Bitcoin. It doesn't sound that nice to them. So I think if people had always had an easier way to be able to get into the market in some sort of way, go for it, because I want every normal person to be in this market before the wealthy take everything. So yeah, once again, not affiliated, don't know these people, not being paid by them. I just think it's kind of cool that you can do stuff like that. So anyway, let's move on. Is this, this is some news I missed. Sevilla is becoming a crypto-friendly city in Spain at a fast pace, with 2 prominent local hotels announcing that they will start accepting crypto payments. Hotel Becker, okay, and Hotel Kivir have joined the crypto adoption bandwagon by allowing customers to book rooms with digital assets. According to Diario de Sevilla, both hotels signed a partnership agreement with Krypton, a local exchange, to enable crypto payments for their customers. 134 hotels. Wonderful. Amazing. Awesome. Love it. So the point is, everyone's adding Bitcoin. They said that they did it because of 19. I mean, listen, they might have. I mean, that might be an actual answer, but I assume everyone's just really understanding right now that they should be accumulating it, and they're trying to figure out other ways to kind of get it. And it's going to happen. I already told you before. Once we get to $1 million Bitcoin, I wholeheartedly assume people are going to be taking little trips and stuff all over the place and how happy they will be because everyone accepts Bitcoin. So good job to Spanish hotels in Sevilla, which I heard is a beautiful place. And I'm sure somebody's like, yep, it sure is. Yep, I've been there. Anyway, let's move on. Also in a bit of news I missed, crypto payment processor Now Payments recently announced that it had integrated support for Cardano, which means that their plugins for various e-commerce solutions, such as Shopify and WooCommerce, now support ADA payments. This is how Jeremy Furster, a project manager at Cardano Foundations, announced the news on Twitter. Yes, definitely news I missed. He said, "Greetings, Shopify. Hashtag Cardano welcomes you to the family. Thank you, Now Payments, for supporting the growing Cardano ecosystem." So I guess everybody is also starting to accept Cardano as well. Wonderful. Yeah, news I missed. Anyway, let me get my phone. Oop, text message. All right. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. Professor Wally from Gunbot University. Umnu Wishniki, the letter M. It doesn't say the letter M, but it's just the actual letter M, and I feel weird just saying like Wishniki M. See, I have so the letter. Stefan Dirks, Not Brain, Captain Something in the Z-Way Lay, Crypto Black Sheep, AJ Cut 5, Speedy 655, and Carlos was like, Mobarazi, Jojo Shawshow, VB Nerd 21, Miguel Grolet, Lauren De Silva, Quoted Biddy, Barebones Mining, Troy Olga, Space Case Need a Miracle, nope, I can't get it. Crypto, I got it. Crypto Style, Pattern Nasser, Conan Doskip Leg Day, in the Z-Way Lay? No. Snacky Chan, Tolik Manon, Auspicious Agile and Blockchain, Navarro Williams, David James, Attila the Han. That was so funny to me. Yasha Harari, Oscar Maldonado, Utopia 569, Moonman High, XRP, Joshua Vineyard, Martin Stoyer, Paxis, Nick Mangiala. No. What? John Sarson. Martin Stoyer, Nostromo, John Sarson, The Animal Reader, A Bibliophobia, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Mo Hamaroni, Massive Ventures in Thailand, Jared Schneider, Wise Night Owl, 242 to the World. Why can I remember that half but not the other half? Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist. Whoa, look at those. Is this real life? What's happening with the charts? Okay. I'm going to look back and it's going to change again. Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Cold D3D, Damien Setsu. Nope. Crypto Artist, Cold D3D, Damien Setsuna, Richie Rich III, Vlad the Impaler, Paxis, Nick Mangialavori, Anthony Charles, Jim Gardner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller His Chest Every Day, and Calskip's Leg Day. What happened? What a weird video. Yes to Crypto, Boating Boatface, Anytime Fitness, Mouse Corner Staff, Arfmedic 17, Bake Me a Cake, Tigger, Macho Nisa, On Crypto with Lionel, Crayola Michelle, URL, and Bolero Bastos. Thank you all very, very much for your support. Thank you to everyone who is a member of the channel, who clicked the little join button below. Thank you to everyone who is a clicker of affiliate links. Thank you to everyone who left a like or a comment or a subscribe. Can you leave a subscribe? I'm not really sure, but it sounds like it's a thing. At the moment, Bitcoin is currently at 54,755 US dollars. It is up by 4%. Ethereum is back above 2,500. I think, is this not the all-time high that we had? I'm pretty sure it is, because I think we had articles last week talking about we have to hit 2,600 and that's a new all-time high, but XRP is currently up by 20%. It is at $1.42. Sure. Why not? There was no XRP news. I guess it's just a general, everyone's trying to buy it kind of thing. I assume people are still speculating on when crypto exchanges are going to be relisting it because they can legally do so. Cardano's up by 4%. Dogecoin is up by 4%. It's weird that Dogecoin is in the top 10 and it's just like not moving. Like it's just kind of stuck there now. All right. Polkadot is up by 6%, Litecoin is up by 5%, Chainlink is up by 6%, Lumens is up by 10.8 percentile pointages, VeChain Thor is up by 6%, anything else crazy? Theta is up by 9%, Tron is up by 12%, Uniswap is up by 12.5%, IOTA is up by 12%, sure, why not? EOS is up by 10%, some of these coins, the charts, I don't understand why this is that way. Cosmos is up by 10. You wouldn't know it by the chart. Maker is up by 11. Kusama is up by 18%. Rune Thor Chain is up by 16.7%. Nem is up by 13. Polygon is up by 12. Chili's is up by 15.43%. Cool. Nice to have a green day. I do hope you all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See